This is my top 10 PS3 games. This is a video update, right? So this is like a video update. I did this type of video before, right? But after this video, right, after this kind of ranking, I'm going to introduce new games into the ranking. And some of the older games, they're going to be switched around like in the ranking, right? So, and keep in mind, top 10, whether it be top 10, top 20, top 30, they're always subjective and they're based on, opinion. Now, I leave down below your top 10, like in the comment section. My number 10 is Bayonetta, right? So Bayonetta, I like it for its smooth kind of flow, right, in the action, right? I like the comboing, I like the parrying system, and the parry system is kind of implemented like with this cool time freeze ability. I like the smooth mechanics, the smooth movement. So much about the game flows so well together, and the game has a certain rhythm, right? So just understanding on the combat flow, and it does take a little while to get used to. For example, at the parry system, but once you do, it gets very cool. There's a lot of cool enemy designs, right? Cool level designs. The game itself is pretty long as well. So, my number 9 is Splinter Cell Blacklist. Now, Splinter Cell Blacklist, which is probably my favorite stealth game of all time. For the gadgets, the options it gives you, the approaches it gives you, the mechanics, the features, the main missions, the side missions, the specs versus mercs modes, the multiplayer modes. There's so much in this game to enjoy, from the story, right? So the blacklist, that conspiracy that's going on, and you gotta stop them. And the takedown animations are pretty cool and pretty epic. Now, Splinter Cell Blacklist itself, right, it is obviously also for Xbox 360 and other consoles, but I enjoyed it a lot like on the PS3, and I highly recommend it if you're into stealth-based games. My number 8 is going to be Call of Duty Black Ops 1. So the original Call of Duty Black Ops, I spent thousands of hours into this, playing zombies, playing multiplayer, replaying on the campaign. This is my favorite Call of Duty campaign of all time, right? You obviously have Mason, Woods, Hudson, and that kind of memory loss, and Reznov. But this one really, is one of my favorite Call of Duty games. Zombies was very fun back in the day, from what was it again? Kino to Dead Ops Arcade to the Moon Map to Ascension. There's so much stuff in this game and so many multiplayer maps. Lots of memories with Call of Duty Black Ops 1. My number 7 is going to be The Last of Us 1. The Last of Us 1, a very popular game of all time, like one of the most popular kind of titles. Now, The Last of Us 1 is one of the best adventure-style games that you can play, right? But just the chemistry between the characters and the voice acting, the presentation, especially for the time now. This is at the very end of the PS3 generation, in terms of, right before the PS4 was a release, but it's just so impressive in the shooting mechanics, getting the cover, and those post-apocalyptic features, right? Looting, and some of the resources are very scarce, so you got to be very careful in how you use ammo, health items. And obviously you had factions. Factions are very popular online mode, and I know it's unlikely, I hope one day we'll see factions too. Now my number 6 is going to be Ratchet and Clank Future Crack in Time. So this one does split up Ratchet and Clank, and this one was in my previous ranked video, like for PS3 games. Now, Ratchet and Clank, I like the level design, I like the art style, I like, I'm a huge Ratchet and Clank fan. Ratchet and Clank, again, they're split out, so it introduces new puzzles, obviously new level designs, new arenas, new challenges. I really like this one a lot, and the story to itself, right? Relative for a Ratchet and Clank game, I was pretty good, in my opinion. My number 5 is going to be Uncharted 2, right? For all the cool action sequences, the story, the puzzles. Naughty Dog's that does a great job, right? Like in all their games, with the presentation, the graphics, the shooting mechanics, the getting into cover, some of the crazy over-the-top action, Hollywood sequences. Uncharted 2 does just that, right? Every time I replay Uncharted 2, right, I know that I am going to enjoy this game, to the fullest. It is highly replayable, right, with some pacing issues here and there, but overall it is a well-paced game. And my number 4 is a game that everybody should know, GTA 5, right? So probably the most popular game of all time, at least in the modern era. But GTA 5, play as Franklin, Trevor, Michael, right? And, you know, drive cars, open world, so many things to do in the game, the main story, multiplayer, online, and it's probably it's one of the most popular onlines ever, right? Like, ever. There's so much stuff in this game to enjoy. My number 3 is going to be Infamous 2. So Infamous 2 is really, right, you know, one of my favorite superhero games of all time. Right, Infamous is a little weird because you can play as good, play as evil. I have talked about this many times. But Infamous 2, what I really love about Infamous 2 is that it really improved a lot, like from Infamous 1. The mechanics, they did like a visual kind of do-over of the power sets, the electricity, projectiles, right? So everything, like in Infamous 2, the art style is different, the visual style is completely different. But they introduced new types of side missions, the UGC content, where you can literally make your own missions. The story, the Beast, Joseph Bertrand, Cole McGrath, and pretty decent voice acting for the time. But overall, though, like Infamous 2 is a very solid game, and if you like, you know, there's so much, you know, to upgrade in this game, and what really makes it special, you could replay it like on different playthroughs, and whether you play as good, play as evil, replaying it again, and the game feels different as that, you know, and when you play as evil versus play as good, the story has a different outcome. But I highly recommend it. My number 2, a second game now. This is gonna be like a switch compared to like when I did it last time. But my second game is gonna be my number 2 is gonna be Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 5. Skyrim, again, another very popular game of all time. But Skyrim, endless exploration, so many characters to interact with, so many powers to possess, magical spells, potions, alchemy, armor sets, so much at the loot, and so much, you know, you can, you know, negotiate with certain merchants, and there's so many quests, right? You know, there's so many quests, and there's so much to explore. Explore a cave, an enemy settlement, some sort of castle, a bandit camp, like a small town. But Skyrim, there's so much in this game. My favorite PS3 game is God of War 3. God of War 3 really captures the best of the PS3 generation, right? From the presentation to the visuals to the, you know, epicness to the grand scale boss fights to the music to the sound to the audio, the sound effects, right? Everything about the game super epic. And this is, you know, really at the end of an era, right? So this is, you know, the last game chronologically that takes place in the Greek timeline, in the Greek mythology. So this is literally the end of Greek mythology in this universe. And fighting Zeus, fighting Hades, Hercules, all those kind of, you know, mythological gods, demigods. It is super epic. Fighting Kronos at a Titan, right? So there's lots to love, and so many memories with God of War 3. Like I said before, it really captures the best of the PS3 generation. And with it being remastered so many times, you can experience the same game on newer generations. Now, please like, share, subscribe. That is my top 10.